This email is from Floyd.
Hey, Floyd.
We actually read this back in late April on the air, but I said I would save it for the next time that Greg from trainwithmap.com was with us. And there he is!
Yay!
Hello.
He appeared.
So you know what we do? We do Drinking with the Maggots, where every Friday people send in recipes and we try one of them live on the air. He says, my drink is very simple. I'm not sure if Greg will endorse it, but it works for me. He says, I call it the Blue Trition. It's your choice of Maptrition protein powder blended with ice and Tahoe Blue vodka.
Oh.
I prefer a Magic Bullet blender because I'm lazy and it allows me to blend and drink from the cup that I blended it in. I fill the cup with ice, pour a little bit of Tahoe Blue over the ice to melt it just a little bit, so I then dump the protein powder in and it doesn't spill. It also puts a little liquid at the bottom of the cup so that the powder doesn't stick. I then add the protein powder and I fill the cup up with Tahoe Blue and blend. It's so delicious. This is my go-to after-workout beverage as well as my Sunday breakfast.
Jesus.
Do you endorse that? Greg from trainwithmap.com.
At least you had some protein. I'm just, I'll take the little wins here.
So Maptrition is your line of nutritional supplements, vitamins, and other things. You go to radradio.com and go to the Stupid Store.
Superstore.
And you can go to the protein powders and you see out of stock. Kyle's
so good.
favorite, the Smashers.
It's all gone.
Out of stock. I mean, there's
no.
some of it's there. Your vitamins are there. Randy wrote in and said, I'm curious about when the Smasher is coming in. I've been waiting a month. I know there are supply chain problems. I'm just wondering because everything else I have tried to substitute sucks. So where are we with the Maptrition products?
Get ready for this. So I wish I could tell you it was just a supply chain issue. But the truth is, I work with a manufacturer off the East Coast, and he tried to run away with all of my investments rather than actually sending the product.
Oh, my God, no.
Absolutely. So this has been
No.
months in the making, right? We were expecting everything to come back into stock well over a month ago now. I've been hunting him down, trying to be professional about it. And I finally just went the extra step. I called him. He's out of the country somewhere because his phone is beeping, not ringing.
No.
And I started calling the office. No one's picking up. I started calling the surrounding businesses to see if anyone was at the office. So long story short, I filed every last claim you could possibly do as a business against this person, and he resurfaced.
Hey!
Yes.
Thank God.
He resurfaced and
Okay.
messaged me like nothing was wrong. Like, oh, Greg, what's the problem? I noticed we had some complaints.
Whoa,
Really?
what's this? What's this summons I'm
Oh,
getting?
my God.
Weird, right? So you don't send someone their product and try to run away with their money and they complain. So here's what's actually going to happen. He tells me that the product is actually going to be available as of the 15th. So on the 16th
June?
of June,
Of June, okay.
I am going to his facility. I said, the only way I'm releasing any of this money or talking to you at all is if I go to your facility and I watch my products get loaded onto the truck.
Here's the guy you want walking into your facility, Greg with an attitude.
Yeah.
I've already planned it out. I'm going to just Spartan kick the door open.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm here.
I just hate that you had to go through that. You're such a good person.
I mean, I appreciate it. I wish,
Jesus.
lessons learned. The lucky part is the product should be available. I am going to bring some of it home with me so we can fulfill the orders that people have been waiting on. We'll have a full supply, and we've already taken actions with a new manufacturer out of another area.
Good.
That's really going to help us. Everything's already in place, so you won't see a gap in Smasher ever again, or especially the multivitamins.
Yeah, because that Smasher's good in iced tea.
Yes.
And for longtime listeners and things, we always try to reestablish these things. One of the reasons we love working with our advertisers and one of the reasons it's so great working with Greg is this has been going down over the last, couple months or so. It's all been developing. And as it came to a head a few weeks ago, Greg and I got together and it was, well, are we going to address this and all that? And Greg said without me saying anything, we're just going to tell the truth. You're right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have to lead people there. Sometimes they're like, well, I don't want to tell them, blah, blah. Not Greg. Greg was right away. Let's just tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Bingo. And there it is.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yes.
That's what it is. So.
And everyone's like, oh, because, they love you. And then it's like, okay, yeah, when's it going to be here?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
the
love the
15th
product
is
so
a week from today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So by then we'll start refilling orders that are already been made, and then very shortly after that the store's fully restocked.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's at radradio.com in the Stupid Store.
Superstore.
Just go down to Maptrition. We have some questions about that. You can email us rad@radradio.com. Trish wrote in, says, Greg, thanks for the multivitamins. You've managed to convince my stubborn-ass husband to start taking better care of himself by taking your multivitamin. But my question's about me. Will the Bella multivitamin, which is the one for the broads,
Hell yeah.
replace my over-the-counter hair, skin, nails vitamins, or should I be taking both?
I got you. Yes, absolutely. It can replace that. The hair, skin, nails, it's really just an advertisement geared towards women. They called out the 3 things that you care about the most, and they put it on the bottle. All those vitamins are going to be found in the Bella and some.
All right, there's this lovely thing that women get because they need more health problems called PCOS. It's a hormonal condition that women can get during their childbearing years that can affect your ability to have a child. It can also stop your periods, or it can make them harder to predict. It can cause acne and unwanted body and facial hair. And it can raise the risk of diabetes and high blood pressure.
It's amazing.
Bree says, Greg, wondering if your supplements would be safe for somebody with PCOS, being that hormones with that syndrome are all out of whack already.
Yeah, absolutely safe. So everything that's hormone related in the multivitamins is going to be amplifiers. So we're just supplying all the prerequisites your body needs to make the hormone as efficiently as possible. We're not actually putting a hormone in your body.
If you have a question you didn't write in, by the way, you can call 888-989-9811. Derek wrote in, says, is it bad to take your pre-workout powder and then after working out have a cup of coffee to take to work?
Not at all. So it's all based on caffeine tolerance. It's reasonably safe to take 500 to 600 milligrams a day, according to studies that I've followed. And I'm right up at that top peak. So you're well below that. You're good to go.
Roger says, regarding the shakes, I have celiac disease and I'm also diabetic. Will they be okay for me?
Absolutely. They're extremely low carb, low sugar. The only sweetener in there is either going to be a stevia or a sucralose, which is totally safe for both of those conditions.
All right.
God, and neither one of those cause you to have to run to the bathroom.
Exactly.
I hate when I'll be looking for, what's a healthy dessert I can make, and it'll call for that sugar that makes you run to the bathroom, and you're like, no, thank you.
This is a two-parter from Joy.
Hey, Joy.
She says, I've been looking into purchasing your vitamins and your protein powders as I have zero energy, and I'm struggling to do my workouts. I tend to work out 4 days a week, but I've been struggling to do just the 2 with my trainer. I'm so desperate to get this weight off. It's really affecting my mental health and puts me in more depressive state than I normally am, and I think that's part of my energy problems. Let's start with that.
So it will help, yes. Neither one of those are exact to helping with energy, but they will prime the body to produce energy as fast as possible. More likely you're looking at some kind of deficiency elsewhere in your nutrition, like a lack of carbohydrates, but by all means, it'll make it as available as possible.
Which brings us to the other part of her email. I have some really bad food issues, past anorexia, so I've never let coaches or trainers touch my nutrition, but I really need help. I have a very tight budget, and I may only be able to afford the nutrition plan 1 month, but not the next. Is the nutrition program a contract, or could I go month to month?
It's totally month to month for that exact reason. I mean, we want to be able to help as many people as possible. We'll draw out everything that you need for that month and give you all of the coaching in between. So as long as you take advantage of that, it's totally going to be worth it.
And I just want to say that all of you that have been longtime listeners, you know my bulimic and awful eating disorder past, and it's weird how it creeps up at certain times when you think you've gotten rid of a lot of things. And I'm just going to say that Greg is amazing. I almost want to cry. There's just a lot of things I've shared with him, and he is just so beautiful and amazing at working on that mental part with you. And a lot of times you don't realize there's a lot of mental that goes into this. We're just concentrating on the physical and what we're putting in our body. But for me, that stuff is just not going to work till you really get down to the nitty gritty with the mental. And Greg is all about just, he's so kind and understanding, and will work with that. So I hear her when she says, her past thing, and she won't give that to them. It's this thing. We're not giving that part to you. Nope, that's ours. So to let loose a little bit of that in the long run, it's probably going to do well, and Greg's the person to help you with that.
Go with trainwithmap.com, and Greg does meal plans. He can design a workout for you at home. He's got a gym. There's a million. And by the way, you don't have to be local to the Northern California area. In fact, do you still have clients in Australia? That was the longest, farthest away.
I do. South Africa now too.
Well,
cool.
Oh
now,
my gosh.
you are a nutritionist.
Yes.
Now, what is that? Are you certified? Are you licensed? Do you just say you're a nutritionist? What are you?
All of the above. It started with a degree.
Okay. And so, what makes you know so much, or what is it? Is there a difference between a nutritionist and something else that's out there that people should know about?
Sure. The difference between maybe a nutritionist and a dietitian is a certification, essentially. So a dietitian is more prescription based, where they may go a step beyond just telling you what might be a good example of a day of eating. Typically, that's reserved for pretty serious conditions.
So there's a couple stories that caught my eye over the last few days. I thought I'll just bring this up when Greg's here. There's a paper that was published over the weekend in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that says the key to losing weight is more about cutting carbohydrates than worrying about balancing the calories we eat and burn. Dr. David Ludwig, who's from the Harvard Medical School, suggests that our way of thinking in regards to weight loss is backwards. He says, given the choice between bread and butter, for years we focused on getting rid of the butter, but between the two, the bread is the bigger issue. He says it's not that eating too many calories leads to weight gain, but that the high sugar content of certain carbohydrates triggers our bodies to store too much energy. Now, we've talked all the time since you've been coming on. You do increase calories for people who are going to lose weight, which freaks them out.
All the time.
So you at least half agree with this. Is he right, just without reading the whole study about the carbohydrates as well?
Sure, without diving in, absolutely. And 12-year-old Greg could have told you that my bigger friends like gummy bears and my skinny friends like chocolate.
What's wrong with gummy bears?
Yeah.
I love gummy bears.
How much time you got, Rob?
I only eat like 8. I eat 8 little gummy bears, 2 of each color.
That's perfect. You have room for 2 more in a serving.
Yeah, and your genetics, stop it. You guys, there's not a fat person in your family.
That's true.
Oh my God, his mother has been the same size since I have known Rob,
Size
and
of
that's
this pen.
30-something years.
Kenny,
Who's a woman that never changes her weight? Rob's mother.
Kenny wrote in and said, I'm currently on a high-protein, low-carb diet where I've lost 16 pounds in 2.5 weeks. My best friend, who's on a separate diet, asked if I'm going to do a cheat day one of these days, and I said I would on Wednesdays when I have a day off, where I'm going to have a steak for dinner instead of chicken or low-carb pizza. She says it's not a real cheat day because I'm still under the parameters of the diet and that it'll be good for me to get off it for at least one meal day. But I say it's because even though I'm still following the diet, I want to stay within reason because I worked hard to lose those 16 pounds, and I don't want to gain it all back again. Very supportive friend.
Yeah, your friend kind of sucks.
How do you feel about cheat days in general?
Yeah, I'm with Queenie. Your friend kind of sucks.
Okay.
Jeez,
So my opinion on cheat days, honestly, for something long-term, they can be useful just to keep you on track when it comes to long-term goals. My thought is you should go at least 6 weeks on a program without cheating before actually even in considering putting that into your plan, just because that's how long it takes to really make chemical change in your body.
By the way, the phrase you should go at least 6 weeks without cheating is why he's a nutritionist, not a marriage counselor. What about when he cheats? So like the other part of he's cheating with a steak instead of chicken, and he's still under the parameters of his diet, and this very unsupportive friend like, you need to cheat more. Is there some benefit to cheating to the point where you're way off your program?
Not so that you're way off. Typically, you would just switch the macronutrients out. So his cheat day would be a very high carb day. And the efficiency is your body's just going to kick into high gear to utilize all of that energy. And then it's going to bring you back up to a more normal level after being on a calorie deficit for so long.
And what's cool is like when you're on a program and you start getting in the routine of eating healthier and not stocking up on carbs, the second you do cheat, you don't feel so good afterwards. Like I do it. I'll get something. Like yesterday I had a milkshake. Did I regret it? Yeah. I felt like crap right afterwards.
Wow.
It was terrible. And even with Brandon, we tried chicken nuggets one time with the special sauce.
Heard that
and I
story.
had to go to the restroom and relieve myself.
Brandon, did you have a similar reaction?
Oh yeah, I can't eat fast food or anything anymore without having a reaction. Your body craves better foods when it becomes part of your daily diet.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the other reason this person is a terrible friend is because they want you to go off plan, because a lot of times, right, you go off plan, you eat all that stuff, and so then you want it the next day. Like they want you've lost. Right. Some people, when they see you lose weight, they don't like it. Right, and they're not speaking that instead of being supportive. It's like, come on, eat like me. Come on, wait, you've changed. I don't like it.
Speaking of your body craving things, 2 questions. One, how do you feel about apples? Because a lot of people say like fruit. I eat too much fruit. It's fructose, things like that. There's these new apples. Well, they're new to us.
Man.
Dr. Patel from GraniteBayAllergy.com and I were talking about them. They're called envy apples.
They're
like
so good.
Sweet and sour.
Oh my God.
Like if you're eating 2 or 3 apples a day, is that bad?
No, it's not inherently bad. The sugar naturally found in fruit is far different from the fructose being produced in a lab and stuck in foods.
Because what I do now is instead of eating those 8 gummy bears, I eat another apple.
Yeah.
That's better,
Because the
right?
more you eat them, right? I mean, that's good, isn't it?
That's a great exchange. You're going to get way more out of that.
All right, we got this question from Jay. I was wondering if Greg can break down what the hell is a calorie deficit. I've been hearing that term thrown around quite a bit on social media and at the gym, but I'm not really sure what it means. Can you dumb it down? Do you recommend this as a good way of losing weight? I've been on my weight loss journey for about a year. I'm stuck between 170 and 180 pounds. Really considering joining your nutrition program because I'm great at the gym, but when it comes to food, I find myself not eating, overeating, eating once a day, snacking. What's a calorie deficit? What do you recommend help a girl out?
So a calorie deficit means that you are burning more calories in a day than you're actually consuming. Now that comes from two parts. Most people just try to eat less and less, which sounds absolutely terrible to me. Typically, you try to split the difference, right? You eat slightly less calories throughout the day, and you work out to create the rest of the deficit.
What was the last part? What did she say? Oh, so but your nutritional program, she's great at going to the gym, but she's not overeating. She needs your program, right? Because, I mean, she's all over the place.
Yeah, she just needs some balance to figure out what a proper day actually looks like instead of bouncing back and forth.
Seth wrote in and said, any advice to someone who has a really, really high metabolism and has a really hard time, oh, God, this guy, trying to gain weight.
Oh, God, poor
even
you.
with a high calorie and protein
Go eat
intake.
a donut.
All right, Don, don't get mad. So the key is carbohydrates, right? So I personally,
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
I have the same issue.
Oh, you
know?
do?
Oh, I shrink. If I stop eating, I
Yeah.
just become a stick and it doesn't look very fit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm 171 pounds right now. I eat 4,000 calories a day. Right now, I'm eating 70 to 80% carbs to put on weight. And it's working. So I've put on 2 pounds in the last week. I feel really good, but it's a lot of carbohydrates.
Listen, it's annoying, but I do get it's a real thing. One of my girlfriends, she's just one of the, if she gets stressed, she just doesn't eat. If she loses 5 pounds, it'll look like she lost 25 pounds because she's so little. And people always are telling her, you're anorexic. She's like, she actually loves food and she does eat, but she just can't keep the weight on. And so it for her, she looks at bodies like mine and wishes she had it, right? Because she just can't get anything on her. So I understand it is a problem, but when you're a bigger person, you're like, oh my God, cry me a river.
Wow, you had to love somebody saying they wanted your body.
So the last two emails are very relatable to me because not only did I was just off the rails with any sort of nutritional program before I met Greg, but I have to cake on the carbs and I have to eat so much more in order because my body will just burn it off. I wish it were that easy. But fortunately, because of Greg's program, he gave me the perfect roadmap to give me that discipline that I needed. And ultimately it came down to me to get to that place where I know I need to have breakfast, I know I need to have lunch, snacks, all that stuff. Because before it was just like, I'll make up for it later. I'll forget to eat. But because once you get into that program, your body tells you, like, I'm hungry as soon as I wake up, so I know I need to get right to breakfast.
You said the magic word right there, Brandon. We gave you the roadmap, and it was on you, right? We can give you all the tools in the world, but until you actually take action on it for a long enough period of time to see a difference, nothing happens.
This is from Christy. Back to the point, you don't have to be anywhere in a certain geographical area. Says, I've recently relocated to South Carolina, and I have found myself in a bit of a weight issue. I'm dealing with depression about my girth. I look in the mirror and I'm disgusted.
Oh, sweetie.
I used to be hot, but no more.
Oh.
I'm into my 50s, and not knowing anything or anyone out here, I'm desperate for a solution. First question: does trainwithmap.com know how to get an old, probably pre-menopausal fat ass into shape from a distance?
Stop talking.
My husband deserves someone less large, and I need a bump in my self-esteem.
I would never consider you old, but yes, we absolutely work with people who are in the exact same situation. I will say that everyone that's kind of hitting that age of 50 is a little bit different, right? So we're going to have a little guess and check, some back and forth as to what meal plan works best for you, but I guarantee we can get some results.
Now, last time you were on, you did the RAD VIP program, which sold out like that.
Yes.
And went for what? Was it a month or 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
And we had a favorite teacher, Ms. Frizzle.
Yeah.
She wrote in at one point,
Love her.
and the end result, she lost 10 inches.
10 inches around her body.
Nice.
Darlene lost 13 pounds.
Yep.
And half of everyone that did it, they've stayed members of trainwithmap.com.
Absolutely. So even the people that signed up at the
yay.
very beginning and fell off, as much as we follow up, people fall off, they still loved all the information and the coaching that they got from us and decided to stick with us long term.
So are you going to do it again or something like it?
We're doing both.
Oh, all right. What do we got?
So the first one is the all-in program, which is literally going to be the mirror image of what we did the first time, right? It's 6 weeks, all of the menus updated weekly, check-ins with your coach multiple times a week, all of your online workouts, and it's completely remote. We had a lot of people not understand that right away. You can do this from anywhere, and we'll make sure that it's a guide to fit you. So if you're going on vacation, we'll look up the restaurants. If you're going to be home, but you're 100 miles from us, we still got you.
That's
so
big, especially with
nice.
summer. That's even bigger because so many people are going to travel.
It's excuse me, it's already happening in that we've been working with people through barbecues and family events. And, I actually wrote an entire article about how to eat when you travel because I used to do 200,000 sky miles a year. I know what it's like to try to stay on track when you do that. So that's going to be our first program.
So that's the one that's identical to what you did last time. And how do they sign up for that?
All they have to do is trainwithmap.com/radradio, and they will see the option first thing right on the page.
Last time you were here, there was a deadline. Is there a deadline to sign up?
There is a deadline. It is Monday.
Monday, June 13th.
13th.
They got to sign up by the end of the day.
Yes.
When does the program start?
The 20th. So we're going to have a week to make sure you have all of your programs together. We get you your products because it does include Maptrition products, and you have time to basically shop and set up before we actually start.
Now, you kind of touched on this when you alluded to barbecues, but some people are going to do the math and go, wait a minute, you want me to do this over 4th of July? Really? Because I got a barbecue and I got a beer and all those other things.
Right. And next year you're going to have a birthday, and then it's New Year's, and then you wait till Monday. So,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
when are you
yeah.
going to start? There's going to
Always
be a holiday
Monday,
every
right?
month. Yeah, exactly. Why not now?
Okay, so that one, which is identical to the program you just did, that one you got to sign up by Monday, June 13th at trainwithmatt.com/radradio comes right up. But that's the all remote one, which you can do from anywhere.
Yes.
So what's the other version?
So the other version is our in-gym. We had a lot of people that wanted to get into the Roseville gym after doing that 6-week program for the VIPs. So we're offering a side-by-side where we're going to do the exact same thing. All of the menus included, along with 3 personal training sessions each week throughout the 6 weeks here in Roseville.
Wow.
It's going to be in a semi-private session, which essentially like we pair up 4 or 5 people that are about the same style, and we walk them through their sessions every single time. So the accountability is far beyond what we could do online. And we're actually going to establish accountability sessions where you're going to meet with your trainer throughout the week. Exactly. There's no escaping us. We have a way. So it's essentially everything that you get with the online program, but it's hybrid because you're going to come into the gym to see us.
Now, you kind of alluded to this one with the whole 4th of July, then there's a birthday, then there's holidays, there's always
something.
Excuses.
Yeah.
But money's real right now, so these are exorbitantly overpriced, I assume, and that nobody can possibly afford them. Especially if you did the math, like I would be paying less if I just did the normal program.
Yeah, call me Robin Hood, right? No, so all of these are extremely discounted because we want you to get in and experience it, and we know you're going to want to stick with us long term, but if not, we'll change your life in 6 weeks. So what do you have to lose?
Phone number is 888-989-9811. Hello, Heather.
Good morning, Rad.
Good morning.
I want to know about Greg's success with teenage girls. I have a teenage daughter whose weight has fluctuated, maybe 20 pounds. She'll gain it, she'll lose it. And I really am interested in the diet portion, like teaching her how to eat better. She loves to cook, and she's very motivated. She'll cook her own meals, but it's very like savory, heavier. She doesn't like a lot of vegetables. So I'm just kind of interested in what you would do for her.
Yeah, no problem. So that comes down to a lot of balance, and being a teenager, she can actually tolerate a lot more calories and a lot more carbohydrates than someone that may be, 25, 30 years old or above. So what we would do is basically go based on her healthy weight, which would be a subtraction. There's a separate calculation for teenagers, and I teach her some recipes that are going to have replacements to some of those savory items, because there's no reason you have to give up flavor, especially when you love to cook. I think Dawn knows best. we can find ways to make that work so it fits her lifestyle the way she is now.
So this goes back to what Dawn was talking about, except you have to add in the teenage attitude, and you know how to deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What I would say is we do work with a lot of teenagers, but it
Like
does come
Kyle.
into
Well, so even when I'm in the gym, I see Greg working out with teenage girls quite a bit. Like he's getting them in shape.
Yeah, it works really well, but there is, especially with the online program, there's a lot of parental feedback, just because the teenagers don't always jump on the app and message us when something's going on. So as long as you're willing to get involved, I'm happy to help.
Speaking of which, what's the kid kickboxing nutrition thing you got this summer?
Yeah, so we do kids kickboxing all the time, but we've been deciding to host more during the summertime because kids are home and parents want to get rid of them. I have a 2-year-old. I know what that's like. So we're going to be releasing some dates here where we're going to essentially do like a 6-week camp for the kids where they come in once every week for an hour and a half. I actually like kids. I have their energy level, so I'm good. We're going to talk nutrition. We're going to teach them how to defend themselves, how to do kickboxing properly.
Nice.
And it's a great opportunity to get them out of the house. You do not have to stick around for the sessions either. You can drop them off.
And they come home tired.
And they come home very tired.
Is there a bar within a 5-mile radius of your gym?
There is.
Good. All right. And then just keep checking trainwithmap.com for those dates.
You know it.
All right. This is from Christian. My wife wants to know if you have a workout that can help her abs reconnect after they split from giving birth.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus. Oh
So
my
that's
gosh.
not that unusual. I know that sounds really crazy when you hear it or read it on paper. But abdominal diastasis, it's just a separating. It's totally normal. And there's a lot of movements you can do that aren't direct ab movements. supplements that will help reconnect it so she can feel herself again.
Sam says, I'm 39 and very fit. I'm trying to gain some thickness or fat, and I can't seem to do it.
Oh my God, what is up with these people?
Do you have a plan that can help? We kind of covered that. You have a plan that can help.
Yeah, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to gain fat, maybe call McDonald's. But
Yeah, exactly.
Thickness maybe through muscle is better.
Yeah.
Hello
Eat a
there.
pizza.
Alex, good morning.
I also have a teenage daughter that's struggling with weight loss. She happens to be type 1 diabetic, and her doctors claim that it's the insulin that is storing her fat, because we've tried stuff, and the rest of the family has lost weight. I've lost weight, her mother's lost weight, but she has not, and she's doing what we do. Would your program be something that a type 1 diabetic could use?
yes, absolutely. So for a doctor to say that, I mean, that's diabetic 101. That's exactly what insulin does, but that shouldn't prevent her from being able to lose weight in any kind of meal plan. So if there's no structure around that, yes, absolutely, we can write something to give it some structure.
Did you see this story yesterday? It got a lot of play about this recently approved diabetes drug that helps adults without diabetes lose weight as well. It's called tirzepatide. It was studied over the course of 72 weeks in people without diabetes. Participants with obesity or who were overweight took the 5 milligram dose. They lost an average of 35 pounds in a year and a half. The 10 milligram dose, 49 pounds. The 15 milligram dose, 52 pounds. They did give them counseling on staying healthy diet, but none of that, according to the author, who's from Harvard, Dr. Robert Gabay, is with the American Diabetes Association, explains the weight loss. How do you feel about something like this? We've heard about the fat loss pill, the weight loss pill forever. This one, they're saying, shows some major results, and we can't necessarily link it to the exercise and the food as well.
Which is very interesting. So I did look this up because everyone calls me when there's a new magic pill released, right? Who doesn't want to work out? So first of all the participants that they studied were on a 500 calorie deficit, which is the most I would ever give someone. And they were working out at least 150 minutes a week. So essentially 3 workouts, right? So on top of that, they also released that same person, the chief medical officer of the ADA. I got my little notes here. He quoted, "It's the range of weight loss that we typically think only possible through surgery. You lost me. You absolutely lost me."
I saw that in the article.
Yeah, there's no reason that you couldn't lose that kind of weight through diet and exercise. The only thing that I think this could be beneficial for is replacing bariatric surgeries. I have a big issue with that because I think they hand them out like candy once you hit a certain weight. And the problem is the success rate long term is very, very low. Most of those people tend to put weight back on.
I've
and
seen it.
Yeah, their stomach
Oh
is
my
so
God.
small,
Yeah.
you can't mess with the calories nearly as much as if your stomach was a normal size.
We had someone in our family that wanted to get that done, and I honestly didn't think they were at a weight that it'd be allowed, and they were given the go, except first they wanted him to lose, I forget what it was, lose this amount first, and now to think about it, I think that her doctor was just saying that, because what's crazy is now all of a sudden she was able to lose the weight because she's thinking that surgery's coming, but the surgery never came. She lost all the weight herself.
That's great.
Right? So now I think that's what he was doing.
But wait, the chief medical officer of the Diabetes Association said it's only possible through surgery.
No.
How could that be?
Yeah, and she's kept it off,
great.
So, yeah.
All right, got to put you on the spot here just in case this is correct. Les just wrote in.
Liz.
She says, I'm looking at the website. It says the deadline is May 13th. And the start is May 20th. Is this the old program, or can I click on the link to sign up?
You
Those
can
are the
click
right
the
dates.
link. Yeah, I shouldn't do things at 3 a.m.
Because it's June 13th and June 20th, but it is active. And as soon as we're done, you'll put June in instead of May.
I'm going to go right to the computer after this.
Jennifer says, I'm so excited all your products are coming back. Thank you, Greg. Yay! And I'm so sorry you had to go through all that. That's Maptrition. A week from today, Greg's going to go muscle the guy, have the products. It'll be at radradio.com in the stupid store.
Superstore.
Matt says, I've been debating using your program. The problem is I hate working out. I eat okay. I'm on my feet all day. I have plantar fasciitis in both feet, but I get winded playing with my daughter or doing yard work. I'm 32, 175 pounds. I don't know where to start. I'm afraid I won't get motivated. Any advice?
start with us. I mean, we have different ways of motivating you, but if nothing else, rather than playing this guessing game and then waking up every morning exhausted, why not get a game plan and at least see what it looks like so that you can decide what works for you from there, and we'll develop it.
We just got this from Marion. It says, Rob and Greg, what were the names of the summer specials again?
It's really simple. So if you go to trainwithmap.com/radradio, the very first two things you see are right next to each other. You can decide in-person program versus online program, and I'm sure I put that in bold, so that one's correct.
Kendall says, can you work with me being pregnant and having gestational diabetes for the remote RAD program?
Yes, I can. So I will say one thing is that the recommendations you are going to read from whatever facility, I'm thinking Kaiser in my head, is going to give you very general population advice. Don't buy into that, because it's going to be, the plan that we write will be custom for you, not the general population. So don't buy too much into what you're told.
Brianna says, Greg has been super awesome.
Awesome.
I've used his nutrition program twice and loved it, but I wasn't quite ready to fully follow through with it. Even though I wasn't using his plan, he was always there to answer my questions. Personal things have happened in my life that I have to do something about, and I was able to start saving. Today will be my first day doing a one-on-one with Greg, and I'm so excited to finally be able to seriously start my weight loss journey. And Ashley says, I just wanted to say thank you to Greg. I met him at the Drinking with the Maggots event on Saturday, and he explained why I was having indigestion. Those damn white carbs with fatty foods. Oh. I have eliminated that from my dinner rotation, and I have slept so much better.
Oh, good.
I also ordered some digestive enzymes like you recommended. It was so nice meeting you in person. I look forward to working with you in the future once I get my stuff handled, made healthy food delicious, which has always been at odds with my prejudice against it, blah, blah, blah. You're amazing. Trainwithmap.com/radradio for either the remote or in-person, what are you calling them, summer thing?
Yes, that's it.
So we
Summer
called it the
thing.
all-in program.
That's it. Yeah, right.
Because it's everything.
And keep checking in for the actual dates for the kickboxing for the kids and the nutritionist for the kids, where you can dump them off and leave them there and get some freedom this summer.
Absolutely. You know the parents are just clicking refresh right now. I'm not home yet, I promise.
Online at trainwithmap.com. Greg, thanks so much for being here. Love having you all the time.
Thank you as always.